Today, we will be considering the case of a multinational company that is hiring a vice president of marketing and cultural factors. The agenda is displayed on your screen. The next section will go over the company information. According to our authors of our textbook, Doe and Luthans, the NMC we are considering today has a home office in Holland and operates in 23 countries around the globe. The company's emerging market is the Pacific Rim, and a potential emergence market for the company is the Middle East. The company's primary markets are North America and Europe. The company is looking to hire a key marketing vice president who will have access to an unlimited expense account, a car, and a corporate jet, among other elaborate benefits. This next section will present the market and cultural information. Next, we're going to review the primary markets for the company. According to an article written by Molina in 2020, the United States is highly focused on personal achievement and self-improvement. Molina states that Canada is less achievement motivated and less concerned with individual rights when compared with the US. Molina states that Mexico, in contrast, is a collectivist country where concern is about the overall group, and it is important to maintain good standing. Because of this, people may try to help another group member out and save face. Personal achievement is not as important in Mexico. Doe and Luthans, in their textbook written in 2023, define the European Union as 27 member countries, including such diverse countries as France, Germany, the Netherlands, Portugal, and Greece. According to an online article by Eurodev, there are a number of differences between business culture in Europe and the US. In European countries, business communication is more formal, less transactional, and less confrontive. European conduct differences are that it can be considered rude to talk over someone. Some European countries address people more formally, and in general, meetings in Europe are longer and can stray from the formal agenda. Ethical differences in Europe include offering long-term jobs more often, a focus on stakeholder management and not shareholder value, and the EU is more risk avoidant than the US. Next, we're going to look at the emerging market of the Pacific Rim, starting with some facts. According to the Bureau of the Census, a statistical brief written in 1991, the Pacific Rim is a collection of 14 countries, which include Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, South Korea, Taiwan, Australia, Brunei, China, Indonesia, Malaysia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, Macau, and the Philippines. In 1991, these countries were responsible for 1/6 of the world's gross domestic product. The area has both human and business resources available very readily. According to a paper by Baker and Viet, written in 1998, some cultural factors of Asian countries are similar, like the preference for a high power distance and a general collectivist culture. However, even in just the Asian countries, there are differences in the levels of masculinity versus femininity and the amount of uncertainty avoidance preferred. Next, we're going to talk about our potential emerging market, which is the Middle East. Facts, according to the Office of the United States Trade Representative, exports in 2020 to the Middle East were $103.6 billion US dollars, and imports were $108.5 billion. According to Elson Batty and Yusuf's article in 2023, real estate is still the #1 business within the Middle East, but there are many other growing markets. According to a journal article by F. Rome Jr. in 2010, there were 3 significantly statistic cultural differences between the US and Arab nations when compared using Hofstede's cultural dimensions. They are a high collectivist orientation, high uncertainty avoidance, and low assertive assertiveness orientation on the part of Middle Eastern countries. In this next section, we'll review our candidates' pros, cons, and other factors. Our first candidate is Park L. He is 41 years old. Park has a lot going for him as he currently works in a Pacific Rim country and speaks English and Korean fluently. He is also a VP of marketing and currently a marketing expert. Park speaks fluent Korean and English and knows some German and French. The only con for Park is that he does not have a graduate degree, but according to Doe and Luthans in our text on page 518, this might not necessarily be a deal breaker. Other factors are that Park has a wife and 3 children that only speak Korean, and according to Doe and Luthans in our text on page 519, the company would want to make sure the family was open to the move to Holland. Our next candidate is Karen K., who is 50 years of age. Karen has many wonderful qualifications, including the many languages that she's fluent in. Her background as a Sikh could be helpful, as Sikhism is a combination of Hinduism and Islam, according to the text Sikhism, that has no publishing date. Karen holds a doctorate degree and also has taught as a professor. A con is that she has been out of the business world for some time, as she has been working as a tenured professor. And another con is she may be seeking the job to provide for her son more than being intrinsically motivated. Other factors are she has a 23-year-old mentally and physically disabled child who will need a special support program in Holland. Our next candidate is Peter V. He is 44 years of age. Peter appears to be a good choice. He has lived in South Africa and is a great manager and has good personal values, and he has worked in key marketing positions for a Fortune 100 company. However, Peter was offered a position with his former company to relocate to New York, and he didn't take it, yet he states he wants to leave South Africa, which seems to be in conflict. Peter's degree is also in computer science and not in a business-related field. Other considerations are Peter is a social activist, strongly opposed to apartheid, and he has a companion that travels with him that will need help finding a new job when he relocates to Holland. Our next candidate is Tex P. He is 36 years of age. Pros are he is a former head of marketing from a one-product firm. He has an MBA from Stanford. He was a Rhodes Scholar, and he did a research project in marketing in high-tech industry. Some cons about Tex are that he felt jobs offered by Texas Instruments were beneath him. He can be aggressive and hard driving at work. He works to a fault. And he only speaks English fluently and only some French. This would not be great for our Pacific Rim and Middle Eastern countries that are collectivist cultures. As per Doe and Luthan's text on page 178 states, Middle Eastern countries can take 3 to 4 meetings before even beginning to discuss business. That is a direct quote. That might not play well with Tex aggressive and hard driving styles. Additionally, Text only really speaks English. Some other factors are that he is divorced and has a child. Z has a lot going for him. He has an MBA from MIT. He has coordinated an international marketing department in Israel for 14 companies, so he has experience in the Middle East. He is fluent in many languages and exceptionally creative, and he's managed a very large marketing department. One con about Z is that he tries strategies others would deem too risky, yet it's paid off for him. Other factors are due to religious beliefs, he must leave by noon on Friday, but he makes up for that by working Sundays, and he has a wife and 5 children. Next, we'll present the candidate ranking. I'm happy to announce the ranking of candidates. Our first candidate is ZC. He beat out everyone by having Middle East experience, which is just so important for a company looking to go into a potential market, having somebody who knows what's going on in that company. Our next candidate is Kieran Kay, who did not have Middle East experience, but likely shared some cultural values due to her background. So that is why she is our number 2 candidate. Our third candidate is Park L. He would have been a great candidate, except that he doesn't have any Middle East experience, and he also does not have degrees, so therefore he became middle of pack. Our fourth candidate is Peter V. Peter speaks less languages than everyone else. He also has some other factors that might need to be mitigated at some point, so we ranked him 4th. And our least likely candidate would be Tex P because of his hard driving and aggressive communication styles. We just felt he would not be a good match. Thank you for coming to my presentation.